Hi, my name's Kate Borer,
And I'm Lucia Kelleher.
and welcome to today's very short video where we're going to share with you the 6 key insights from our recent research on workplace productivity.
We decided to conduct this research because we were curious as to the impact of distraction on productivity. The media and the news and reports and stats all suggest that it's an issue to do with training and competency and skills with employees. We thought that we wanted to test whether distraction was having an impact. So we had a sample of 435 people who were all self-selected. This was to ensure that our research was going to be robust and valid and able to be extrapolated to the wider workforce population.
And I think really it was also to answer that key question. Everyone's busy, and what we really wanted to know was, are people busy or are they just really distracted? So one of the first themes that really came out quite strongly was people really are working hard and are committed. 73% of people were working more than their paid hours, 80% of people responded to emails at home, and 72% of people take work home. So what we really saw here was that whole blending of boundaries that work and life very much have started to integrate, at least certainly from an employee level.
Absolutely. So we wanted to look at those people that were distracted, that acknowledged that they were frequently distracted, and to see whether they were actually being productive. And because we had an idea that people were confusing busyness with being productive, and we pretty much did support that theory because 55% of people acknowledged that they were frequently distracted, yet 69% felt that they were being productive. And the reality is that once people are distracted, it takes quite some time to get back focused on task and actually be back to being productive and doing what they're paid to do.
We wanted to take this further though and look at, can we disregard distractions if motivated? And the key premise here was the scenario with, if you're leaving work, say for example early on a Friday lunchtime, does the behaviour change in terms of our ability to focus and disregard distractions so that we can get our work done and leave on time, albeit early? What we found was that with distractions, 73% of people were working more than their paid hours, but without distractions, i.e. I can get on with work and disregard distractions, only 22% of people needed to work more than their paid hours. So fundamentally the message here is that 55% of people who are working, who are doing more than their paid hours, effectively are doing so just to manage distractions.
Another key insight from our research was that we were able to segment the respondents into two clear groups. And the distinction between the two groups was people's ability to self-regulate and to take responsibility for distractions via doing something with respect to the environment. So the early adapters are a smaller group. These were the people who were able to satisfactorily get on with their work and disregard distractions, primarily by taking control of the environment. So if they're in a noisy environment, they'd move. The 80%, the constrained defeatist, the bulk of the sample, these were the people that had no control, perceived they had no control over their ability to disregard distractions. And it was all issues relating to other things, such as managers, useless meetings, too many emails, things that were out of their control that were the cause of their distractions.
So what's the cost of this constrained defeatist, or this major impact of distraction on productivity? From an individual point of view, of course, it has professional impacts. We know that this distraction, this productivity, this stress that comes from this consistent, relentless distraction impacts engagement. We also know, of course, there's a personal cost, not just from the hours of additional work that people are doing, but of course of the stress impact on relationships, family, things like that, and time spent with family. And of course, there's that follow-on impact physically, both on health, from a stress point of view, but also, the opportunity cost of what you're not doing by doing those extra hours at work. To understand the impact financially, we utilised a case study, so an example of an organisation who had a $12 million salary cost and 150 employees. What we found that when we asked the question, how many hours a week are you completely unproductive, that quantified out at and calculated at $1.3 million. So that's about a 13% reflection, or 11%, sorry, of the salary costs is completely non-productive. That isn't about distraction, that's completely not productive. Of course, it's not just financial, there's strategic consequences and costs associated with this in terms of the opportunity cost of the time that people are not delivering what they could be doing, and of course culturally.
So what's the solution? We found that those early adapters, so that smaller group of or smaller segment, had actually developed abilities and capability around being able to deal with distraction. So basically that was on their ability to focus and to take personal responsibility. So as you can see with those two grey bars there, those are the people that are actually are able to be in control. The others, as you can see there, they don't perceive they've got any capability of having any control over the distractions. It's almost like it's being impinged upon me or by the workplace, my manager, other people, all sorts of things. So the solution lies simply in one's ability to self-regulate and be self-responsible about managing distractions.
Of course, organisations have a role to play in supporting this, and the research talks further to that, and of course individuals do as well. So one of the key pieces, we want you to take this information and how do we make this research matter? We can learn more. We're running a free webinar where we're exploring more of the insights and answering your questions, so please feel free to register for that above.
Then you can take it, have a lunch and learn, because the thing is every organisation will have some of these early adapters. They will have people who are able to deal with distractions and get on with it. They'll have great strategies. So the more you share this and the more you talk to others within your organisation, you can share strategies that others are carrying out that are effective and helpful with dealing with distractions.
And the mere process of having a conversation around this starts to develop awareness around your own behaviours and, of course, help identify what those strategies are. And lastly, you know, we're not just researchers, we work with organisations to help understand the cost. So you could utilise this tool and run this within your organisation, not only to understand what the behaviours are in your organisation, but probably more importantly, start to identify what the solutions might be so that you can start to manage the impact of distraction and the cost in your organisation and on your people today.
Thank you.